Hi friends, welcome to Our Family Cooks. My name is Allison and I love sharing all of my baking and cooking knowledge as a home chef and home baker with you all. So today we are going to be making two different super easy and budget-friendly dinner ideas that you can either meal prep on the weekends or make throughout the week. So the first one we are going to be going over is a sheet pan dinner with sweet potatoes and andouille sausage. So that is the first one on the list. Let's get started. So one of the reasons I really love making this sheet pan dinner throughout the week is it's so easy. And as long as you have some sort of potato, so sweet potatoes or regular potatoes, an amount of veggies, and some sort of meat. Today we are going to be using sausage, chicken sausage actually, and I have some broccoli, some tomatoes, and a few peppers left. So an assortment of vegetables in my fridge, and we're going to be using all of them in our sheet pan dinner. So this is also a great dinner if you're like, I don't know what to make, what do I make? If you have some sort of potatoes, you've got either, you could do regular chicken, I'm doing chicken sausage, you could do regular sausage, andouille sausage, lots of different options. As long as you have a protein, you can cook that, put it on the sheet pan dinner, and then also add some veggies. It's just really easy and simple, and I love it. We need our sheet pan. Actually, I'm gonna cut up my vegetables first. So, cutting board, knife, and a peeler. Almost forgot what this was called. It's a peeler. All right, gonna peel our sweet potatoes. It's a funny looking sweet potato. Gonna add all these shavings to our compost bucket so we can have a nice fertile garden next year. And I am not a professionally trained chef. Very much home educated, taught myself, my mom, dad taught me. So if my knife cuts or things are not perfect, I'm not a professional and they just are the way they are. But I know I've watched a lot of Food Network and they're always saying how important knife cuts are. But you know, when you're cooking for your family, I don't think it's as important. As long as it's cut up and tastes good, it's all that matters. I've put my vegetables to the side and I'm gonna go ahead and start filling our sheet pan. So once you get some nice diced sweet potatoes, you just pour them all on the sheet pan. We'll oil them here in a little bit and gonna cut up the next couple. But that's basically just to give you room while you cut up the rest of the potatoes and vegetables. Before we continue, I'm going to preheat my oven so we can make sure and get this in a timely manner. And we're going at 400 degrees. And then I'm gonna grab my olive oil and some seasonings. Salt and pepper, of course. All right, we've got lots of seasonings here. We've got onion powder, garlic powder, rosemary, thyme, chili powder, and then the salt and pepper. I am gonna put the sweet potatoes in the oven first because they do take longer to cook. And then while these are cooking for like 10-15 minutes, we will chop up and clean our vegetables and then add those on. And we'll give those the whole thing will probably take about 40 minutes to cook in the oven. One thing that would make this process go a lot faster throughout the week, like if you're making this on a Tuesday or Wednesday night for dinner, is to, over the weekend after you've bought your groceries, you got your sweet potatoes or your regular potatoes, go ahead and dice those up on the weekends, so then you don't have to worry about doing the cutting job that same night as you're like baking and cooking everything. Same with your vegetables. So if you have like a big head of broccoli right when you get home from the store, go ahead and wash that, cut it up, put it in a container, store it in your fridge. That way throughout the week, it's all ready to go. You can just grab it out, throw it in the steamer, put it on the sheet pan, whatever you're planning to do with your vegetables. And it just saves you time throughout the week. I used to really not enjoy sweet potatoes, and honestly, I think it's just I wasn't seasoning it enough. Like, potatoes in general can be really plain, but once you add the right amount of seasonings and the right amount of flavor, it's like it enhances all of the flavor of the potato. So yeah, I used to not like sweet potatoes because they were just bland and just meh. But once you add all this good seasoning to it, it just changes it so much. Our oven just went off. That is preheated and ready for our potatoes. So we're gonna throw those in, and I'll put the timer for 15 minutes, and then after 15 minutes, we'll add the veggies to this. We have created quite a mess on my countertop. So before I do the vegetables, I'm gonna clean this off so I don't go crazy from all the mess on my countertop, my working space. I'm gonna get my colander out so we can wash and clean our veggies. Okay, first I only have like 3 of these little peppers left. Usually I love to add like lots of peppers, but we've eaten them all. So I just have a couple left and we're gonna finish them up. Feels like I need to sharpen this knife too. It's not as sharp as it usually is. And fun fact, you're more likely to cut yourself with a dull knife than you are a really sharp knife, because a dull knife, it takes a lot more to like push through, and you could slide off or just more easily cut yourself with a dull knife. So you always want to have really sharp utensils. After I'm done cutting this one, I'm probably gonna go ahead and sharpen it. Oh, yeah. And I have this super handy knife sharpener that I bought on Amazon. I know it's not as nice as some of the like whetstones you can get, but it works really well if you're not a professional and you just need an easy way to sharpen your knives. It's got like 3 different types of grooves, and it's labeled 1, 2, 3. So really easy to use. And after you sharpen your knives, you always want to rinse them off, because some little shards can potentially be like left on there, and you don't want that getting in your food. Peppers, broccoli, and again, we are going to brush all of our food scraps into our compost bucket. And composting is like, I mean, it's so easy. I guess if you live in an apartment, it's probably not as easy, but if you have a house with a backyard, you can easily compost. You just get a small area in your backyard to keep the compost, mix it together every once in a while, and then you got your eggshells, coffee grounds, vegetables. Just don't put seeds in it, because then veggies are going to be starting to grow. So I'm not going to put these in there because they're seeds. But yeah, it's really easy, and it's a great way to get really good, healthy, fertile soil. And lastly, we have some carrots, which I already bought these in the chip form, the waffle fry. So I'm just going to pour a bunch of these in here, and we'll clean them with the rest of our vegetables. And I do have some really good looking tomatoes that my mother-in-law gave me, and I'm gonna put that on there as well. But I am gonna wait a little bit on the tomatoes. I'll put those in probably when we have like 10-15 minutes left, because they don't take as long to cook. And they could get really mushy if they're in there for too long. All right, so our veggies are done. Now we need to wash this and then put them on the sheet pan. Our 15-minute timer is going off for the potatoes, so we are gonna check these. Oh yeah, they're smelling and looking good. Look at that steam. All right, we will load up our vegetables. And I am gonna sprinkle some oil over the top of these, and then mix them around. Then I will sprinkle a little more seasonings, just to also incorporate the vegetables. Yeah. Okay, into the oven this goes. We'll set a timer for 20 minutes. So you might have been thinking, oh, Allison forgot the protein. I did not. We are cutting it up right now. We have chicken sausage from Costco. This is the black pepper flakes in the sausages and Gouda cheese. So these are really good. We love all of the different sausages that we buy from Costco. They have their own Costco Kirkland's brand, and they have Amy Lou brand, which are really good. They have an apple Gouda and a spicier version, more of a andouille sausage version with red pepper flakes in it. I'm gonna cut up all of these sausage links, so there's 6 in a package, and put them all on there because we like the extra protein. And these will be great for leftovers. And I know I said this was a budget-friendly recipe here at the beginning, and I promise you it is. So I will have the cost breakdown on the screen of how much it costs per serving, because a lot of the stuff you buy, you know, like a couple heads of broccoli in bulk, you can use that multiple times, plus spread throughout the week as leftovers. Really great for you if you're trying to be cost-effective with your dinners. All right, so our timer went off, so we are gonna check our food. It's looking really good, smells delicious. Woo, check out all that steam. All right, let's see how our broccoli's doing. Stems are still kind of tough. It is gonna be in there for another 15 minutes, but the heads of the broccoli is fine, so. Okay, before we put the meat on, I'm actually gonna put this in for a few more minutes. It just feels like the broccoli is still a little tougher, same with the carrots than I want. So we're gonna go another 10 minutes for the vegetables, and then we will add the meat and the tomatoes. Okay, we're gonna get it out of the oven now. Okay, we're gonna spread our tomatoes on. That wasn't a very good job of spreading. Let's shuffle it around. And the reason we add the meat last is because when you do sausage links like this, at least the ones I always buy, they're already pre-cooked, so you really just have to heat them up. It's not like you have to cook them for 20 or 30 minutes or anything. Full, but it's fine. It will all cook just right. Back in our oven for 10 minutes. All right, it is done. So it is done. I am gonna let it cool a little bit before I attempt to eat it because it is very hot right now, but this is such a delicious and easy sheet pan dinner. It takes a total of 40 to 50 minutes in the oven, so that is one thing to think about. But like I said, if you prep everything before, like cut up the potatoes, cut up the veggies on the weekend, and then you can just throw it on the pan and pop it in the oven during the week, that would be really easy. And one thing I always forget with like broccoli and carrots, they're a much harder vegetable, so they do take longer when you're cooking them in the oven versus like if you just did a bunch of bell peppers or zucchini. Those are softer vegetables, so they're gonna cook a lot faster and they won't need as much time. So that's one thing to think about. But yeah, I hope you guys try this at home. It is so good. I'm really excited to share this next budget-friendly recipe with you. This one's gonna come in under $2 a serving, and it's a chicken andouille sausage with rice mixed in our Dutch oven. So I don't really have a formal name for it, but it's really good. And I think it'll be one that you guys can easily make at home throughout the week for dinner or on the weekends, or you can like triple it and have it for lots of people. But without further ado, let's jump in and we are going to cut up our sausage first. Actually, before we chop up our sausage, I'm gonna preheat our Dutch oven and get the oil heating up. So then once our sausage is done, or once we're done chopping it up, we can throw it right in here. And not a lot of oil, just about a tablespoon. This will just be, we're gonna like sear our meat a little bit and then we'll put it in a separate bowl and then we'll cook our veggies and rice in here. Our pan is nice and hot, so I'm gonna throw our chicken sausage in here. And I'll work this around with the wooden spoon. And it's really just to sear it and kind of get it cooked and like a good flavor to it. These have been cooking up for about 5 minutes now, so I'm gonna remove them and put them in this bowl. There's quite a bit of excess grease in here, and although we do need some for our vegetables, we don't need all this. So I'm gonna pour some of this into my grease jar. And now we're gonna saute our veggies. So I already chopped up 2 bell peppers in here and a small onion. So we're gonna saute these together. And we want to cook these until the onions are translucent and the peppers are a little soft. Usually it takes like 5-10 minutes. So these are looking really good and they're getting pretty close to being done sauteing. So I'm gonna add our seasonings now, and I'm gonna add paprika. This is a garlic and herb seasoning that I have that I thought would taste pretty good. And we've got minced garlic. Usually I would do cloves of garlic, but we don't have any right now. So I'm just doing the pre-minced garlic, and that works just fine. But if you have cloves of garlic, I would put in probably 3 cloves. And our garlic herb and paprika. And I feel like paprika is more for just like color. I know there's a little bit of flavor to it, but whenever I add it to stuff, it doesn't seem to ever make it super spicy or hot. So probably if you overloaded it with paprika, it probably would be not that great. I'm gonna let that saute for probably 1 or 2 minutes, and then we're gonna add our rice. So we have 1 cup of uncooked rice and 2 cups of chicken broth. So that's gonna be our liquid base to get the rice cooking. So we bought this massive bag of rice at Costco probably 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and we're still making our way through it. I don't know why I thought we needed this much rice, but I was like, whoa, look at that bag of rice. That'll last us forever. And it has. Every weekend we try to figure out a new way that we can use this rice because there is so much in here. It's 25 pounds. All right, we got our rice. I'm gonna go add it to our Dutch oven. And I don't know why, but rice used to really intimidate me. Like I would never cook with it because I just didn't feel comfortable. I was like, I didn't know how long to cook it, what to do with it. And really it just takes practice. So probably it's a good thing we have all that rice because now I can practice cooking with rice and not being so scared of it. I just was always so scared that it was like, I was never gonna cook it long enough. It was gonna turn out raw. But once you start doing it, it actually gets pretty easy. So we're gonna bring this up to a boil. And then once it starts boiling, we immediately reduce to simmer, cover it, and we'll just let it set for 20 minutes for the rice to cook and do its thing. So our 20-minute timer went off for the rice, and we're not gonna remove the lid yet. We are going to push it away from the burner, take it off the heat, and then leave it sit for another 5 to 10 minutes with the lid on it. Our 10 minutes have gone by, so we're gonna bring this back onto the burner, remove the lid, And then we will fluff our rice. This smells really good. And now we'll add our meat, our sausage back to the rice mixture. And then we're gonna stir this all together. And that's it, friends. Really easy dinner that you can throw together for under $2 a serving. Yeah, make sure to comment below if you've tried this, if you're gonna try it, what you think of it. And then make sure to like, subscribe, and come back again for more videos. I am gonna try this really quick before we head out. It's so hot. The rice is cooked really well. Perfect tenderness, not crunchy or chewy, and the veggies are really good too.